Now let's look at the third video on binomial distributions. And in this problem, what we want to look at is we want to look at the actual formula for binomial probability. Now, there are simpler problems where you don't necessarily need to use the formula. They're shortcuts, but the formula will always work. And this is what the formula. Let me write it out first and explain each term. So this is probability x is equal to k is equal to the binomial coefficient nk, p raised to the k, 1 minus p raised to the n minus k. X is the random variable. It's a binomial random variable of a certain number of trials. And what it does is it counts the number of successes. So when you set up a binomial situation, what you do is you define the outcomes to be a success or a failure, and that counts the number of successes. K is the actual value of successes. So for example, if you're flipping 10 coins, K might be 3, and that would be the probability of getting 3 heads and 10 flips. P is the probability of success in one trial. Again, if you're flipping a coin, P would be 50%. If you're rolling a die and you wanted to roll a 3, then there's a 1 in 6 chance of rolling a 3, so P would be 1/6. And N is the total number of trials. And remember, that's set beforehand. So you'll want to memorize this. You don't need to memorize it immediately. It's fine to start doing your homework having this written down, and then as you do more homework problems, you'll kind of naturally memorize it. Notice that if P is the probability of success, then 1 minus P is just whatever. So you can figure that out, because if probability of success is 20%, then 1 minus P would be 80%. If P was 5%, then 1 minus P would be 95%. So now let's do a simple example and then a slightly harder example using this formula. So let's take a binomial trial, and let the trial be that you roll 5 dice. And so n is 5. And let x be the variable that measures how many successes you get. And let's see the probability that x is equal to 2. So in other words, the probability that you get 2 6s, we can write that in English, the probability that you roll 2 6s with 5 dice. So let's think of this for a second. N would be 5. X is how many successes you have. You're going to do x is equal to k, but k is 2. Right? Because that's how many you're hypothesizing that you'll get correct. P here is the probability on one trial that you get a 6. So the probability of getting 6 is 1 out of 6. So 1 minus P will be 5/6. And now you just plug it back into this formula. So let's make sure we have everything there for the formula. K will be 2. And N will be 5. K again is 2. P is 1/6. K is 2. 1 minus P is 1 minus 1/6, right? That's all 1 minus P is. It's just 1 minus 1/6. which is 5, 6, that's right. And then that's all we need. So let's go ahead and plug this in. So we have the probability that x is equal to 2 is equal to, then we have 5, choose 2, and then it's 1/6 raised to the 2, and 5/6 raised to the n minus k, right? Notice that that's n minus k. So if k is 2 and n is 5, then that's to the third. So let's look at that for a second and make sure that you understand where the numbers come from. And now it's just a matter of plugging it into a calculator. And so why don't you plug that into your calculator, and then we'll show the answer in the next video.